One Piece, Season 1 Full Episode Analysis, Part 1. Netflix's One Piece brings one of the world's most beloved adventures to live action by focusing on the people behind the dream rather than the treasure itself. While pirates, marines, and legendary seas create an exciting backdrop, the true heart of the story lies in the relationships that slowly form between people who refuse to let the world decide who they can become. Beginning in the East Blue, the season introduces a colorful world where freedom, loyalty, ambition, and friendship become just as important as any destination waiting beyond the horizon. Episode 1, Romance Dawn. The opening episode immediately establishes Monkey D. Luffy as an unconventional hero. His dream of becoming the king of the pirates is never presented as a desire for power or fame. Instead, it reflects his belief that true freedom comes from living life on your own terms. That philosophy shapes every decision he makes and quickly becomes the foundation upon which the future Straw Hat Pirates will be built. One of the episode's earliest milestones comes through Luffy's encounter with Kobe. Rather than seeing someone trapped by fear and self-doubt, Luffy recognizes a person whose potential has simply been buried beneath years of uncertainty. His willingness to encourage Kobe without expecting anything in return reveals the leadership qualities that separate him from many other captains. Instead of demanding loyalty, he inspires confidence, giving Kobe the courage to pursue his long-held dream of joining the Marines. Kobe's decision to begin believing in himself becomes one of the emotional turning points of the premiere and reinforces the series' message that courage often begins with a single choice. The episode also introduces Alvida, whose leadership style provides an immediate contrast to Luffy's. While she maintains authority through intimidation and fear, Luffy naturally attracts people by treating them with respect and believing in their abilities. This comparison quietly introduces one of the season's most important themes. Lasting leadership is built through trust rather than control. Although the adventure has only just begun, the premiere succeeds in laying the emotional foundation for everything that follows. It demonstrates that One Piece is not simply about finding legendary treasure, but about discovering purpose, building meaningful friendships, and encouraging others to chase dreams they once believed were impossible. The colorful production design, energetic performances, practical environments, and adventurous cinematography all support that optimistic tone, creating a world that feels both imaginative and emotionally authentic. By the end of the episode, viewers understand that Luffy's greatest strength is not his physical abilities, but his remarkable capacity to change the lives of everyone he meets, setting the stage for a journey that will continue growing in both scale and emotional depth. Episode 2, The Man in the Straw Hat. As Luffy continues sailing through the East Blue, his dream begins attracting the kind of people who will ultimately shape the future of the Straw Hat Pirates. While the first episode established his unwavering belief in freedom, the second expands that idea by showing how different individuals are driven by their own dreams, even if those dreams have been buried by hardship, disappointment, or survival. The arrival of Roronoa Zoro immediately changes the dynamic of the story. His reputation as an extraordinary swordsman precedes him, but the episode reveals that his greatest strength is not simply his skill with a blade. Zoro lives by a personal code of discipline, loyalty, and determination that refuses to bend, even when facing overwhelming odds. His lifelong ambition to become the world's greatest swordsman gives him a purpose every bit as powerful as Luffy's desire to become king of the pirates. Although their personalities are vastly different, the two recognize a shared commitment to pursuing impossible goals, forming the first true partnership of the future crew. Luffy's ability to see beyond Zoro's reputation and recognize the person underneath becomes another important milestone in his development as a captain. The episode also introduces Nami, whose intelligence and resourcefulness immediately stand out. Unlike Luffy and Zoro, she approaches every situation with caution and practicality, carefully weighing risk against reward. While she is willing to work alongside them when their goals align, she remains guarded, revealing very little about her true motivations. Her cautious nature creates an interesting contrast with Luffy's instinctive trust, laying the foundation for one of the season's most compelling relationships. The small moments where she begins cooperating with the pair hint that trust is something she wants to believe in, even if experience has taught her otherwise. At the same time, Kobe begins taking the first meaningful steps toward his own future within the Marines. His journey develops alongside Luffy's, creating a parallel story about two young dreamers choosing very different paths while sharing the same determination to become the people they aspire to be. Rather than portraying pirates and Marines as simple enemies, the series presents both journeys as equally valid expressions of courage and conviction. Beyond introducing key members of the central cast, this episode expands the world by illustrating that everyone carries a personal dream worth fighting for. Whether through Luffy's optimism, Zoro's discipline, Nami's cautious independence, or Kobe's growing confidence, the narrative continues reinforcing that greatness begins long before anyone achieves their ultimate goal. Visually, the episode continues blending practical sets with stylized action that captures the adventurous spirit of the original source material while remaining grounded in live-action storytelling. Strong performances help establish believable chemistry between the future crew members, and the pacing balances moments of humor, character development, and action without losing focus on the emotional core of the story. By the episode's conclusion, the Straw Hat Pirates have taken another significant step toward becoming more than a collection of individuals. Their shared dreams are beginning to unite them, creating the foundation for the friendships, sacrifices, and adventures that will define the rest of the season. Episode 3, Tell No Tales. By the third episode, One Piece begins shifting its focus from introducing characters to exploring what truly binds them together. The excitement of adventure remains, but the story slows just enough to examine trust, reputation, and the importance of seeing people for who they really are rather than who the world claims they are. This emotional depth is what starts separating the series from a traditional action-adventure and gives the growing crew a stronger sense of purpose. The episode introduces Usopp, a young man known throughout his village for telling elaborate stories that many dismiss as nothing more than wild imagination. Beneath the humor, however, lies someone who carries the weight of loneliness and the desire to protect the people he loves. His storytelling is less about deception and more about keeping hope alive, revealing a creative spirit that masks deep insecurity. As events unfold, Usopp begins taking the first real steps toward becoming someone who acts on his convictions instead of simply talking about them. That transformation marks one of the episode's defining milestones and lays the foundation for one of the series' most rewarding character journeys. At the center of Usopp's world is Kaya, whose kindness and quiet resilience make her one of the episode's emotional anchors. Despite living a sheltered life, she possesses an inner strength that allows her to recognize honesty and compassion even when others cannot. Her faith in Usopp demonstrates that genuine belief in another person can become a powerful source of courage, reinforcing one of the season's recurring themes that trust is built through understanding rather than appearances. Luffy once again demonstrates why he is uniquely suited to lead this unlikely group. Rather than judging Usopp by his reputation, he instinctively recognizes the sincerity beneath the exaggerated stories. His willingness to accept people as they are, while encouraging them to become who they want to be, continues inspiring those around him. Nami and Zoro also grow during this chapter, gradually becoming more comfortable working alongside one another, despite their very different personalities. Their growing cooperation reflects the slow formation of a crew that is learning to rely on each other's strengths instead of focusing on their differences. The episode also introduces unsettling mysteries surrounding Klahadore, whose calm and professional appearance begins hiding increasingly suspicious behavior. His presence reinforces the idea that outward appearances often conceal deeper truths, encouraging both the characters and the audience to question first impressions. This growing tension adds a darker layer to the story while maintaining the emotional focus on the developing relationships within the future Straw Hat crew. The production continues to shine through detailed set design, atmospheric lighting, and carefully paced storytelling that builds suspense without sacrificing character development. Rather than relying solely on action, the episode allows conversations, expressions, and quiet moments to carry much of the emotional weight. These filmmaking choices make the world feel lived in and believable, while strengthening the connection between the audience and the characters. By the end of Tell No Tales, the adventure has evolved beyond simply assembling a pirate crew. The story now explores what it truly means to earn another person's trust, protect those who cannot protect themselves, and believe in people even when the rest of the world refuses to. Those ideas become the emotional backbone of the series, ensuring that every new friendship and every future challenge carries greater meaning as the Straw Hat Pirates continue their journey together. Episode 4. The Pirates Are Coming. The fourth episode serves as the emotional climax of the season's opening storyline, bringing together the relationships and conflicts that have been developing since Luffy first set sail. While danger becomes more immediate, the episode is ultimately less about defeating an enemy and more about proving that trust, loyalty, and courage are qualities that must be earned through action. The growing crew begins to realize that pursuing a dream also means accepting responsibility for the people standing beside you. Usopp's journey reaches a defining turning point. Earlier episodes portrayed him as someone who often hid behind exaggerated stories and humor, but here he is forced to confront situations where words alone are no longer enough. Faced with genuine danger, he discovers that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. His determination to protect Kaya and his home demonstrates the beginning of his transformation from a dreamer into someone capable of becoming a true pirate. This milestone establishes the emotional foundation for much of his future growth throughout the series. Luffy continues proving that his greatest strength lies not in his abilities, but in the unwavering faith he places in others. He consistently recognizes potential before people recognize it within themselves, giving his companions the confidence to make choices that change their lives forever. His calm belief in Usopp reinforces why people naturally choose to follow him. Leadership, in Luffy's eyes, is never about commanding others, but about helping them discover the courage they already possess. Nami remains one of the group's greatest mysteries. Although she increasingly works alongside Luffy and Zoro, she continues protecting her own secrets and carefully guarding her emotions. Small moments throughout the episode reveal that she is beginning to trust her new companions, even if she is unwilling to admit it openly. Her gradual emotional shift adds another layer to her character, suggesting that friendship may eventually become stronger than the fears she continues to carry. Zoro once again provides the crew with stability through quiet confidence and unwavering discipline. While he rarely seeks attention, his loyalty becomes increasingly evident through his willingness to stand beside Luffy without hesitation. His presence balances the personalities around him, showing that strength can be expressed through calm reliability, just as much as through dramatic heroics. The episode also fully reveals the true nature of Klahadore, exposing how carefully crafted appearances can conceal dangerous ambitions. His deception reinforces one of the season's strongest messages: people should always be judged by their actions rather than by the image they present to the world. This revelation raises the emotional stakes while demonstrating how easily trust can be manipulated when honesty is absent. From a filmmaking perspective, the episode successfully increases tension through darker visual tones, tighter camera work, and stronger pacing that gradually builds toward its emotional and dramatic high points. The production design continues capturing the unique blend of fantasy and realism that defines Netflix's adaptation, while the cast delivers performances that make the relationships feel genuine and emotionally rewarding. Instead of allowing spectacle to overshadow the characters, the series consistently uses action to deepen personal growth and strengthen the bonds forming within the crew. As the first half of the season comes to a close, the Straw Hat Pirates are no longer simply strangers united by circumstance. They have begun earning one another's trust through shared challenges, sacrifices, and the belief that impossible dreams are worth pursuing together. These first 4 episodes successfully established the emotional heart of One Piece, creating a foundation that prepares both the characters and the audience for the larger adventures, greater dangers, and deeper relationships waiting in the second half of the season. Part 1. Summary. The first 4 episodes of One Piece accomplish far more than introducing a world filled with pirates and hidden treasure. They establish the emotional foundation that makes the series resonate far beyond its adventurous setting. At its heart, the story is about ordinary people choosing to chase extraordinary dreams, while discovering that those dreams become stronger when shared with others. Luffy emerges as the driving force behind everything that unfolds. His optimism, unwavering belief in freedom, and ability to recognize the best in others naturally draw people toward him. Rather than building a crew through fear or authority, he creates one through trust, acceptance, and genuine friendship. Every major character introduced during these opening episodes experiences meaningful growth because of the confidence Luffy places in them. Kobe transforms from someone consumed by fear into a young man prepared to pursue his dream of becoming a Marine. Zoro finds a captain whose ambition matches his own relentless determination, allowing him to continue chasing his goal of becoming the world's greatest swordsman without sacrificing his principles. Nami slowly begins lowering the emotional walls she has built over years of hardship while still protecting the secrets that continue to shape her decisions. Usopp takes the first important steps toward discovering that true courage comes from acting when fear is at its greatest, laying the groundwork for one of the season's most rewarding personal journeys. Several themes consistently connect these episodes. Freedom is presented as something earned through courage rather than granted by circumstance. Trust is shown as a choice that develops through actions instead of promises. Leadership is defined not by power or status but by the ability to inspire others to become the best version of themselves. The series also reminds viewers that every person carries a unique dream worth pursuing, regardless of how impossible it may seem to everyone else. Netflix's adaptation succeeds by balancing the larger-than-life spirit of the original story with grounded, emotional performances. The vibrant production design captures the colorful world of One Piece without losing its sense of realism, while the practical sets, visual effects, costumes, and energetic cinematography create an adventure that feels both imaginative and believable. Most importantly, the series never allows spectacle to overshadow its characters. Every action sequence, every challenge, and every victory ultimately serves to strengthen the relationships at the heart of the story. By the end of Part 1, the Straw Hat Pirates are still only beginning their journey, but they have already become much more than a collection of individuals traveling together. They are slowly becoming a family united by shared dreams, mutual respect, and the belief that no goal is unreachable when people choose to stand beside one another. Those foundations prepare the series for an even more emotional and exciting second half as new allies, greater dangers, and larger adventures await beyond the horizon. Part 1 closing. The adventure is only just beginning. In Part 2, the Straw Hat Pirates will face greater challenges, uncover deeper secrets, and continue growing into the legendary crew that fans around the world know and love. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss Part 2. And head over to our playlist to vote whether One Piece should move up or down in our Netflix rankings. Your vote helps decide which series rises to the top next.